Come on, stand up, please. All right. Well, I have the privilege of introducing the Republican Speaker of the House in the state of Missouri. Ladies and gentlemen, Representative, the Honorable Speaker of the House, Tim Jones. Welcome.
Well, good evening, everyone. Sorry I'm a little late. This is I've lost track, 5th or 6th stop of the day. Congressman, great to see you. Hi, Dana, good to see you. Folks, this is an exciting time, and the reason we're traveling all over the state is because there's a lot of great people to vote for. Earlier today, let me try to replace where I was. I was in St. Charles for an event for a gentleman who I believe is going to be our next treasurer, and that's Cole McNary. Many of you know Cole. Had a few other little stops in between, and then had a great event down in Fenton at the Victory headquarters stop down at the field house, as they're calling it, with two of my very good friends, our next Attorney General, Ed Martin, and my very good friend in the House, the man who's going to restore integrity to the Secretary of State's office, who was touring the state today with the national leader of the Secretary of State's organization, the Secretary of State from Mississippi, on a very simple, common sense thing that many of us would say should have been done, well, actually was done in our state a long time ago until our courts undid it, a photo ID to vote. Representative Shane Scholler. Shane's going to restore integrity of that office. You know, I don't know if many of you know this or not, but Robin Carnahan, who is outgoing, and I'm very happy to say I had a hand in this with redistricting. This, I believe, will be the first time since 1964 a Carnahan will not be on the general election ballot in Instead, you've got a lot of other good people, better people to vote for. Robin Carnahan, as I was going to say, I believe is the most litigated against and most overruled Secretary of State ever in Missouri's history. It's shameful what she's done to that office. But Shane Scholler, I'm sure many of you got a chance to meet him, never can meet a more honest, true public servant. So I'm looking forward to voting for all these people. And finally, the reason I came all the way down here after a fairly long day down to DeSoto. I live in Eureka, so it wasn't, I get the shorter trip home. Was to see, once again, our paths are crossing quite a bit these days, but to truly advocate for my Congressman, Todd Akin. I know it's been a long road. There's been a lot of I call it distraction by the left. They were more than happy to lob on to some of the distraction that was created by some in my party and in our party, and they've done everything but want to keep on that distraction instead of talking about the true issues of the day that Todd has been focusing on like a laser beam in this election. And that's really that, as he mentioned the other night, and as I know a lot of other folks, we're saying the same message because it's true. This is truly a time of choosing. And as we depart here tonight, think about that as you go home to your family, friends, colleagues, and the folks you see this Sunday and next at church before this next election. And if you can just get one or two more people to go with you to the polls, if we can just raise the percentages in this state of the good, common sense, conservative areas, we can lift all those votes together. The choice is clearer and starker than ever before. And that's what this election is about. And when folks want to bring up all the distractions, turn them back around to what this election is about. It's about whether or not we're going to return to the greatness that our country was built upon, economic freedom, liberty, the ability to pursue happiness, the ability to have government less in our lives, the ability to have us be able to do more for our families and our small businesses without I say the three evils in state government, and that's too much litigation, too much regulation, and too much taxation. It's not much more difficult than that. The liberals and the progressives want to make it a lot more complicated, but it's not much more difficult than that. And so that's the choice you have before you. When you tell those folks who are still distracted by the distractions that when they walk into the voting booth in less than 2 weeks, and a lot of us are happy it's less than 2 weeks, let me tell you, we're almost there. It's that choice, and that choice alone. You're not going to have anybody else to choose but either Claire McCaskill or Todd Akin. That's it. You don't want to choose Claire McCaskill.
That's right.
And you all know why. When she's gone to D.C. over the last 6 years, she's attached herself at the hip to President Obama. And we've seen how destructive those policies have been. More taxation, more regulation, the 60th vote on Obamacare. She stands for policies that are destructive personally to the state of Missouri. You know, we're a state that relies on fossil fuels that were put on this earth for a reason to use, and she wants to drive us into oblivion as far as your utility rates. It's as simple as that. And when you talk about, I've heard several commentators bring this up, and it's really true. If we want to talk about the who's been waging the true war on women, it's been the destructive economic policies of Claire McCaskill and President Obama and the war that they've waged on our checkbooks.
That's right.
And all of you women know, many of you are the keeper of that book in your household. You're the ones that have to sit up late at night figuring out how you're going to make all those ends meet at the end of every month. And where have we seen a greater war than on our budgets and on our economy? And that's what we've had to deal with for the last 4 years. So you can vote for more of the same, and Missourians can vote for more of the same. 6 more years of more litigation, more taxation, more regulation, and more destructive policies. Or you can vote for a man whose principles are well known, whose voting record is well established, and who has got those foundational principles of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
That's right.
I'm voting for my Congressman Todd Akin, and I hope you all do as well. That's the choice we have to make. And I want you to all go forward and make sure